I think my wife cheated on me, but I have no proof. Married less than a year, both in our mid-20s. She gets concert tickets for Christmas. Naturally, I assume I'm going with her. Nope. She wants to take someone from work because he is supposedly a huge fan of the band. She also tells me he's gay. I am upset, but I decide not to start a fight about it. She goes to the concert, and they wait outside near the band bus after the show is over. The bassist from the band starts to talk to her, and she flirts with him. He asks if she is going to their New Year's Eve show, 200 miles away. She says no because she can't afford it. He said he'll comp her tickets if she comes. She says she won't go alone. He says she can bring her friend. Now our New Year's Eve plans are ruined because there's no way I can go too. She had joked before about having to sleep with the bassist for these tickets and VIP access. I did not find it funny, so she played it off. In the end, this is her favorite band, and I don't want her holding this over my head for the rest of our lives. So I let her make the decision herself. She decides to go with her friend from work, who she now says she's only 80% sure he's gay. WTF. She texts me on the long drive there. Then when she gets the tickets, then nothing. I text her at midnight. She gives me a 3-word response. I don't hear from her again. I call her at 11:30 the next morning, and she says she is waiting at the subway station to go back to her hotel. She eventually gets home around 4:30 p.m. I asked her how it went, and she said they partied all night. She took prescription drugs and drank a lot. She said she was pissed she paid for a hotel when she only slept in it for 2 hours. I asked how that was possible when she was at the subway at 11:30 a.m. She admits that she didn't use the hotel room at all and that she must have slept in the band suite. What? She blames her amnesia on a hangover. Fast forward a day or so. She gets out of the shower. I notice she shaved her pubes. I asked her when she did it, and she says Friday. Here's the thing. My wife never shaves her pubes. When she does, it's a present for me. She left for work and I found a package of Summer's Eve feminine wipes in her overnight bag. Here's the other thing. I've always secretly thought she's had an odor problem, but she's certainly never done anything about it for me. This was a brand new pack. Why did she have them? So what do you think? Is she cheating? With the bassist? Or the guy from work? Should I confront her about it? TLDR, wife goes to a concert with a guy from work on NYE. Stays up all night in band suite. Can't get her story straight. Abnormal attention to vaginal hygiene. Edit. Sorry this is such a horrible read. I'm literally shaking as I'm writing this, since I don't know what to do. Edit 2. This is a fucked up situation for sure, but I should mention there's a reason we got married. She and I share an affinity for so many things, from music to gaming to trees to other nerdy stuff. Some people might consider us a couple that spends too much time together. The sex life has cooled off a bit, but neither of us has been left wanting. Not sure if any of this changes things. Edit 3. I think I should clarify that she got the concert tickets as a Christmas gift, but the concert was not on Christmas. The first concert was on December 30th. The second was December 31st. Edit 4. I'm trying to avoid keywords that might lead her to this thread, so I won't name the band. It's not Nickelback, and it's definitely not Fish. Edit 5. She'll be home soon. Wish me luck. Update. I sat her down last night for a talk. I asked her to walk me through the night so I could better understand the details. They had tickets waiting at will call and were able to stand in the VIP section for the concert. The bar was open until about 2 a.m., at which point they were invited to the band suite. The hotel gave her free pajamas, so she wasn't wearing her dress when she went up there. It was a pretty large party, with the bassist, guitarist, cellist from the opening band, and the entire road crew. She said her friend from work was hovering around her all night, to the point of being annoying. She said she fell asleep on the floor of the living room, as did a dozen other people. Her coworker woke her up around 11 a.m., and they went to the subway. I asked her why she shaved. She said she doesn't know. What if I ended up going swimming? She said. Did you bring a bathing suit? I asked. No. Not to mention the fact that my wife can't swim. She'll drown in 6 feet of water with nothing to hold on to. We enjoy hot tubs, though I still wouldn't have been comfortable with her in a hot tub full of strangers. I asked her about the Summer's Eve cleansing cloths. She admitted they were for a feminine odor, but said she bought them during our last Walmart shopping trip, which was the day after Christmas. If that's true, she couldn't have known she was sleeping out without me on NYE. She said she didn't even open them. When I checked the package again, I was positive it was unopened. I asked her to look me in the eyes and swear that there was no kissing, cuddling, or sexual contact of any kind. She did so, repeating those exact words. I also told her how hurt I was about the whole situation. I told her that if she has tickets to something and I want to go, she is obligated to take me no matter what. If she isn't ready to make that call, then she wasn't ready for marriage. She was very resistant and used a lot of hyperbole in the conversation, things like, "You always this, I never that." The most hurtful thing she said to me was that if I was able to go on New Year's Eve, she thinks she wouldn't have had as much fun. I told her that's a fundamental blow to our relationship that should call our marriage into question. She said I was being ridiculous. So I'm pretty much right back where I started. Still not sure if she cheated. It's possible she lied. I have no way of knowing. She's acting pretty much normal at home, as if nothing happened. Still don't know what to do. I'm going to leave this up for another day or so, then take it down so she doesn't see it. Suggestions, other than dump that lying cheating whore, would be appreciated. I need some cheering up. Edit. She had sex with the guy from work. I'm fucking done. It's over. I didn't make her write any letters or tell anyone. She can rot for all I care. I'm free from this bullshit. Anyone for a beer? Edit 2. These posts will be coming down soon as I prepare for divorce. I hope that my story will help someone else get out of a toxic relationship as well. If you would like the name of my main account to keep in touch or just follow the story, PM me. Update 3. The past 7 months have had a lot of ups and downs. I'm in a much better place than I used to be, but still on the road to recovery. I go to therapy 3 times a month. I started running and working out frequently. I dropped from 245 pounds in February to 205 pounds this morning. I feel so much more in shape, and for the first time since high school I feel good about my body. The change has caused me to have to buy all new clothes, so I'm slowly updating my wardrobe and dressing and subsequently feeling better. I have a large pool of friends now. The friends that I spent New Year's Eve with hang out every Tuesday for trivia, and we went to the beach a few times this spring and summer. I practice with my band 3 times a week now, and our album was just released for free online. We hang out several times a week. My best friend right now is a girl I met on Reddit, unrelated to these posts. We text every day and hang out every other night, and if one of us absent for more than 2 days, we miss each other a lot. I took a trip to Puerto Rico with my mom and my aunt back in May. It was a life-changing experience. No sightseeing or touristing. My mom grew up there, and we were visiting family. I got to experience the real culture and my heritage. I currently live in a predominantly white suburb. When I came back, I was much more calm and finally had a positive outlook on life. As for my ex, the easiest, cheapest, and most painless way for us to divorce is on irreconcilable differences. For my state, that requires 18 months of living in separate residences while not having sex with each other. No problem there. 6 months down, 12 to go. I look forward to the day she no longer disgraces my last name. There is so much she is still lying to me about, and so much I will never know the truth about. For a while we talked about spending time apart, and after a while see if there was something there to save. She called me to meet with her a few months later, and after a long and deceitful amount of small talk, she told me she had given up. She no longer wanted me back, she had quit therapy, and I know for a fact she is currently dating one of the guys she cheated on me with. To be honest, good for her. She will either wake up one day and realize how much better her life could have been with me, or she'll have a better life with this guy. Either way, I never would have wanted to hold her back from a higher state of happiness. In the meantime, I never want to see her again, outside of a courtroom. To cope with my deflated ego, I went through a period of sexual promiscuity. I picked up some self-help books, hit up the seduction subreddit, and took my new body to college parties. I went on dates with old friends I hadn't seen in 5 years. I slept around with girls as old as 30 and as young as 18. To be perfectly honest, none of that made me feel any better. I thought that I wanted to feel young again and sow my wild oats, but the truth is I just wanted to be loved. So I'm actually dating someone right now. We connect deeply on a mental and physical level, and being with her makes me feel like I can love again. She lives an hour away, which I find to be a good thing because it keeps this from turning into a codependent relationship. I retain my independence, while still having someone who cares for me and goes out with me a few times a week. Will it last? Don't know, don't care. Living in the moment has been one of my coping mechanisms this year, so long as I live responsibly. When I'm with her, I'm happy, and that's all I care about. TLDR. Lost 40 lullabies, moved, slept around, currently in a new relationship. Wife took the easy way out and gave up on life. And now, on to the next story. If you're enjoying the story so far, what was your favorite part? Drop it in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe for non-stop juicy stories. My F28 husband, M30, is cheating on me with my school bully. F28 TLDR. I have found out that my husband is having an affair with my school bully for the last 6 months. I want to leave him without confronting him because I can't bear being the victim again. I just can't believe that he could fool me. His affair started 6 months ago. I could trace it 6 months back anyway. Could have been longer. There were no signs, no indications, no change of behavior, no change in the bedroom. I just found out by accident 3 weeks ago when his phone was on the nightstand. My husband was sleeping with my high school bully. I grew up in a small town, and this woman bullied me severely in middle and high school. After graduation, I did everything to find a job in a bigger city and moved, leaving all the hurtful memories. I worked hard for a year, found an apartment, bought a car, and later started college. That's where I met my husband. We got married 2 years ago. I'm 8 weeks pregnant. He doesn't know yet. I will tell him eventually, don't worry. When I was in college, my bully reached out to me after we bumped into each other in a party. She was new in town and was glad she saw a familiar face. She never acknowledged what she did, and I never confronted her. I didn't want to open old wounds. However, I wasn't going to befriend her, so I just rebuffed any attempt of reconnecting. She still moved in the same crowd as my husband and me. I never told my husband anything about her or our past. I wasn't even sure he knew her by name. 3 weeks ago, when my husband was in the shower, he got a notification on Messenger. I thought it was odd since he's not been active on Facebook or Messenger in ages. We know each other's codes, so I looked and there was her name and pictures telling him she missed his dick. I scrolled a few messages back, and there was a full conversation. I felt sick and my eyes went blurry, so I just left the phone back where it was and acted like nothing. Over the next 2 weeks, I looked in his phone whenever I could. I found out that my husband deleted Messenger when he didn't use it, except for the time he forgot. I started doing the same. Whenever he's sleeping, playing games, or out for a run, I took his phone and installed Messenger. I could trace back their relationship 6 months. They've been sleeping together for 4. A lot of graphic descriptions of what they wanted to do or have done to each other, but also a lot about me, although it was often one-sided. It's always my bully asking questions and trying to get answers about me, and my husband either reluctantly answering or outright telling her not to talk about me. But they've discussed my sex life, and apparently, I'm vanilla. To her constant questions about if he preferred me better, he answered that it was different, and he doesn't want to compare. Discussions about me often ended in him getting irritated and stopping answering for days. I have never cried my whole life combined compared to these last few weeks. I want to leave my husband, but I don't want to tell him why. I don't want to give him or my bully the satisfaction of knowing that they hurt me. I just want to ask for a divorce and just tell him that I wasn't in love with him anymore and that I'm not happy in our marriage. It won't be lying, technically, because he's not the man I loved and I'm not happy in our marriage. I haven't told anyone what I found out, but I've told my mom that I want to leave my husband and stated the reasons above. She went berserk. This is so out of the blue and moronic. And the first question she asked was whether I was cheating on him or not. This was a preview to what probably everyone else will think and say. But honestly, I would rather live with being the perpetrator than the victim this time. I just can't let that bitch hurt me again. Watch me suffer and enjoy it. I just can't. I know I'm being irrational right now, but please put yourself in my shoes and tell me what you would do in my shoes. Update. Hi again. I shouldn't have deleted my throwaway before writing an update with what I've decided to do. Thank you all for the support. I have read all of your replies and I have had them in consideration when making my decision on how to deal with my failed marriage. Here's some points before the update. Many said I needed a lawyer. I don't know about that. We don't have assets, more than a joint account for monthly expenses and a joint saving account, where both of us can do whatever withdrawals. I have already transferred my contribution to my private account. I'm not trying to protect my husband's and his AP or their reputation. I just don't want to give them, her, the satisfaction of knowing how much they've hurt me. I have read all of your comments and the majority think I have the wrong approach. I have decided to follow my guts about terminating my pregnancy. I'm pro-choice, of course, and I've chosen my baby even before I knew I was pregnant. I can't get rid of it only because I don't want to be with its father anymore. Me and my brothers are children to divorced parents, and we turned out decent enough. About my bully being the stepmom. The chance is slim and not good enough to convince me to get rid of my baby. I already love it more than anything in the world. I have broken the news to my husband that I'm leaving him. I had already talked to my friends about it, and being unhappy in my marriage seemed good enough reason for them to support me. One of them offered me her place until I find my own. I got really emotional and hugged her and cried because that meant that I could leave my husband's apartment now. He was shocked when I told him. I don't think he took me seriously at first, but he asked me if he did something wrong. I told him that I'm simply not happy with him, and I think I'm still too young to waste my life in an unhappy marriage. He said he had noticed me being distant this past month, but never would he have guessed I was unhappy with him. He begged me to tell him what's wrong, because this can't be it. He believed me, however, when my friend came to take me with her. This was Thursday. He has been calling multiple times a day, but I haven't answered. He showed up this morning to my friend's house and begged me to have breakfast with him. I agreed. He looked like he hasn't slept or shaved since I asked for divorce. I told him that I was pregnant and that I'm keeping it, but he didn't have to be a part of its life if he didn't want to. His phone was on the table and he got a notification from Messenger, so he had forgotten to delete the app before meeting me. When I saw her name, I told him, "Oh, is that her name? You know she used to bully me in school back when we both lived in town." He froze. "Oh, haven't I told you about her?" I told him everything she did and how it affected me, how she never apologized about anything. He was silent the whole time and just looked at me. I ended it with, "Be careful with her. I don't think she's changed much, to tell you the truth." He grabbed my arm and just watched my face like he wanted to see if I knew something. My plan is to buy a small apartment because that's all I can afford right now. A one-bedroom is enough until I have my baby, and it's old enough to need its own room. I can upgrade later when I've saved more. I'm not leaving this city. I've spent my best years here and have the greatest memories. I have my friends around me, and hopefully they will still be supporting me when the divorce is a fact. I have already filed for divorce, but he's probably going to ask for thinking period. I'm not in a hurry, though. Everything will get better. For now, I want to cry, try to get over him and heal and be there for my baby. I will get over this, but it definitely sucks right now. Be sure to subscribe and check out the next story here.